Yes, Mother's Trust.
Atmalokananda.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Divine Being look over us lovingly as a mother and father. May the Divine Being support and nourish us as a mother and father. May we have the strength and skill to study together the art of spirituality. May no misunderstandings arise amongst us. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto us and to all beloved beings everywhere. So, once again, we have one of our wonderful gatherings where we study some holy person or holy principles and practices. In this case, we're studying chapter 26 of Swami Chaitananda's book on Holy Mother, Mother as Guru. We're on page 461. I think that's what I read at the bottom here. It's in light gray type, so I can't be sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There can be no fear if the Guru's grace descends on one. He will let you know who you are and what your real nature is. The Guru will let you know who you are and what your real nature is. If the devotee practices spiritual disciplines a little, the Guru explains everything to him. Then the disciple understands for herself or himself what is real and what is unreal. God alone is real and the world is illusory. And of course, Sri Ramakrishna repeats that over and over and over again in the gospel. God alone is real and the world is illusory. Now, that doesn't mean the world is unreal. It simply means that its reality is transient. It comes and it goes. It appears and it disappears. It arises and passes away. And so we are to have no attachment to it. Whatever comes into our awareness and into our orbit, so to speak, we interact with it appropriately and then allow it to pass away, allow it to go away. That's what's meant by God alone is real and the world is illusory. God is the substance of which all experience, time, space, and causation, God is the substance behind all of that. That's the reality. That's what's meant by God alone and the world is illusory. Is there any question or comment about that? Anything else? Anything that anyone wants to add or as a comment or any question about what's meant by? I mean, this is the This is the summary statement of the goal of spiritual practice, to understand that God alone is real and the world is illusory. All right. A human guru who is a knower of God and an illumined soul plays a vital role in spiritual life. Of course, the real guru is Satchidananda, or God, and the spiritual light or power comes from him alone, or as Sri Ramakrishna experienced it, from her alone, Kali. The real guru is Satchidananda, or God, and the spiritual light or power comes from him or her alone. But when this divine power manifests through some extraordinary illumined souls, they become gurus and have the power to illumine others, just as a lighted candle can light other candles. And that's such a powerful image for us to hold in our minds. Our spiritual awareness is awakened in us by our guru, whether we are aware of it or not. The guru knows when it's time for us to light that spark within us. And so their candle lights the candle within us. We may not have yet physically or psychically even, that is to say, in some dream or other experience, have encountered the guru yet. But the guru, being Satchidananda, is aware of this eternal relationship between guru and disciple and lights that candle within us. Now comes a warning for us in our desire for guidance. We can sometimes fall into a relationship with someone who postures as a guru. And so the Swami writes, Swami Chaitananda writes, however, there are false prophets and self-styled gurus in this world. The Katha Upanishad warns us about them. Quote, fools dwelling in darkness, but thinking themselves wise and erudite, go round and round by various tortuous paths, like the blind led by the blind. Again, are there any comments or questions that anyone wants to offer to the group here this evening about this concept of the false prophet, the false guru, someone who...
How can you find out who is true and who is false?
The false, that's a very good question, Sham. And the simplest way and most clear indication is that the guru wants something from you. They want your personal allegiance. They want your money. They want you to be a follower in the sense of part of their retinue. They want something from you. Your real guru will want nothing from you, nothing whatsoever, but that you follow their instructions And like a loving mother, they are ever forgiving about our inability and our failure to follow their instructions. They are ever ready to re-instruct us, but the false guru wants something. That's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why they're posturing in that way. Many times, what they want is money, because money allows them to then gather power. Now, does this mean that someone like Sadhguru is not a real teacher? No. Sadhguru doesn't ask anything of you. Sadhguru is really quite a remarkable human being. He's built this huge organization, but he doesn't, if you tune into what he's saying and listen, he's not saying, send me $25 and I'll send you a prayer cloth. No. He just says, this is a way to gain spiritual awakening, awareness. So thanks for the question, Sham. Does that answer it as far as you're concerned?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else from anyone?
Brother Shankara?
Yes, Swayam.
My question has to do with spiritual ideal. We've sort of gone over this before, but how, is the spiritual ideal the persona of the one we choose as the spiritual ideal, or their qualities? And if they have many qualities, which one do we pick what we want to be our ideal? I think I'm a little lost again in that.
Are you talking about what we speak of as the chosen ideal?
Yes.
Okay. The chosen ideal should appeal to your heart. Now, your heart, by that I mean, you should feel this attraction to the chosen ideal, as you would feel attraction toward anything or anyone that you love. As far as what you identify with, the chosen ideal will be an infinite being. We're all infinite beings under the coverings. But the chosen ideal should be more evidently infinite. That is to say, they have these many qualities. You just relate to them in an attitude of love, and as Sri Ramakrishna recommends over and over, in an attitude of service as a servant. And then just let it happen. Don't try to judge and classify and compartmentalize. I know that's difficult, particularly for certain kinds of minds. They're very trained to classification and compartmentalization and so on. And if that's what you do, then well and good. It'll be a phase. But the more you can relate to the chosen ideal as simply your loved one, to which, what do we always want to give to our loved ones. We want a sweet relationship with them. And so let that be the basis for everything. And to the extent possible, don't reason too much about it. Sri Ramakrishna says over and over, please stop reasoning, because it is a distraction from the relationship that is at the heart of the guru-disciple relationship, the chosen ideal. That's the real guru behind the human guru that may give you diksha or so on. Does that do it?
Yes, Brother Shankara. I think part of the reason for my question was also I'm reading this Walking the Walk by Swami Tyagananda as part of the Karma Yoga class in the Vedanta Life Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has given like a workbook for daily practice. And one of the first sort of thing in that practice is that examine my motives to make sure that they are in harmony with my spiritual ideal. So that's where the confusion arose for me. What is this, my spiritual ideal, other than like, is it the Brahman or?
Well,
Absolute?
it's what your guru gave to you when you received diksha. That should be the focus, dear. Don't, if as much as possible, don't wander away from that. And your guru's instructions are primary. Tyagananda's in his workbook are secondary. They don't supersede what was given to you by your guru. It's good to read those instructions that you were given by, in your case, Sarvadevananda, from time to time. And try and not let anything supersede those. I'm glad you amplified that so that it's clear where the concern came from.
Thank you, Brother Shankar.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. The Hindu scriptures testify that the divine power does not become fully manifest in the guru until his or her raw ego is completely wiped out. Now let's read that again. The scriptures testify that the divine power does not become fully manifest in the guru till his or her raw ego is completely wiped out. Raw ego, what does that mean? It's what Sri Ramakrishna refers to as the unripe ego. That ego becomes, when it says wiped out, it's replaced by the ripe ego. The ripe ego is not an obstacle, not a weapon. As Sri Ramakrishna says, the ripe ego is like a golden sword. It cannot cut. The gold alloy of which the sword is made won't take an edge. So when this limited I-ness is annihilated, the person becomes an instrument of the cosmic I, or the Divine Mother. When this limited I-ness is annihilated, that person becomes an instrument of the cosmic I, or the Divine Mother. So the power of the Guru is not human. It is the Divine Mother's special power that possesses the Guru's body and mind. Regarding the identity of Guru consciousness with God consciousness, the Guru Gita proclaims, quote, "The Guru is Brahma, the Guru is Vishnu, the Guru is Shiva. I bow down to the Guru, who removes the darkness of ignorance from the eyes with the collyrium stick of knowledge." The Guru is Brahma. The Guru is Vishnu. In other words, the Guru is that which creates, that which sustains and protects, and that which transforms. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. I bow down to the Guru, who removes the darkness of ignorance from the eyes with the collyrium stick of knowledge. The compassionate Lord removes ignorance and delusion from human minds through the divine power of the Guru. This is why devotion to the Guru and devotion to God are the same. The Svatara Upanishad says, quote, "He is truly a great soul who has the highest devotion for God and as much devotion for his Guru as for God. The truths explained to such a person will surely reveal their meanings to him." I'm going to repeat that. This, by the way, the Svatara was Swami Prabhavananda's favorite Upanishad. The Svatara Upanishad says, "He is truly a great soul who has the highest devotion for God and as much devotion for his Guru as for God. The truths explained to such a person will surely reveal their meanings to him." and it doesn't mean all at once, like a magic bullet has transformed you. No. The truths require that process of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravana, hearing or reading, hearing in this case. Manana, comparison of what you've been told is the truth with the way you are currently thinking, speaking, and acting. Slowly, the truth reveals itself to you through this comparison and contrast. It's not a reasoning process. It's not figuring it out. It's simply comparing. I think this way. This causes me to speak and act this way. The scriptures say this is the more auspicious way to think and therefore act, speak and act. Slowly, as one makes this contemplation over and over, what it is that the truth is saying to you, it reveals itself to you because of your effort. It's not because you're bringing the understanding in from somewhere else. It is pre-existent within you. It is revealing itself because of your willingness to let go of the way that you are currently thinking, speaking, and acting. And so after you are convinced of this higher truth, then comes nididhyasana, which can be spoken of as satyagraha, insistence on that truth, rather than the past. Is all that clear? Is there any comment or question about it? Because this is seminal. This is
Dr. Chakra, can you go over the difference again between the raw ego and the ripe ego?
okay. The raw ego is the self-centered ego. Everything is seen in terms of I, me, mine. That is the raw ego.
Okay.
The ripe ego sees everything in terms of thou, thee, thine.
Okay. Okay.
That's why the devotion to that which is spoken of as thou, thee, thine. And it is a slow process to replace that raw ego. Why? Because we have learned to cope with the world, cope with existence itself, slowly and slowly over long periods of time, taking body after body, we're told. And so this is a coping mechanism with us, this raw ego. And so it's hard for us, as Swami Vivekananda said, only a fool will surrender the lower until he or she is sure of the higher, that they're going to get something better. So this is why it's a slow process. One has to be convinced that the reality is thou, thee, thine, not this small I, isolated, separated I of I, me, mine. Thank you for that question, Katrina. That is just right to the point.
Thank you.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. The mystery of God, or the Atman, is unfathomable because it is beyond thought and speech. That's why I said to Swayam, it's something of the heart. Thought and speech is something of the left mind, of our linear, classifying, language-based left mind. The mystery of God, or the Atman, is unfathomable. That is to say, we cannot conceive of it in our left minds. We cannot come to a full understanding in our left minds because it is beyond thought and speech. That is why one needs an illumined guru who can show the way, show the way by who they are and how they are. The Katha Upanishad says, quote, wonderful is the expounder and rare the hearer, who is also a hero. Wonderful is the expounder and rare the hearer. Rare indeed is the experiencer of the Atman, taught by an able preceptor. Now, when the Katha says rare, we don't have to wonder what that means. All we have to do is look at the screen in front of you. This rare and wonderful group of people who gather to hear and imbibe these things. Rare. There are millions of people who could have access to this, literally. How many of us are there? And how precious, how priceless is it what we are doing? Wonderful is the expounder, and rare the hearer. Rare indeed is the experiencer of the Atman, taught by an able preceptor. The preceptor, of course, is, in this case, Holy Mother, as interpreted by Swami Chaitananda. There are many gurus or spiritual teachers in the world, but as manifestations of God's power, all gurus are the same. I'll repeat that. They're the same because there are many gurus or spiritual teachers in the world, but as manifestations of God's power, all gurus are the same. At the outset of the spiritual journey, one should have love, faith, and steadfast devotion for one's own guru and follow his or her instructions implicitly. Later, in the advanced stage, one will realize this truth. My Lord is the Lord of the universe, and my Guru is the Guru of the world. At the beginning, at the outset of the spiritual journey, one should have love, faith, and steadfast devotion for one's own Guru and follow his or her instructions implicitly. Later, in the advanced stage, one will realize this truth. My Lord is the Lord of the universe, and my Guru is the Guru of the world. Despite this sublime teaching, some narrow-minded fanatics develop guru cults and think their guru is the greatest without understanding the main purpose of the guru. They create various factions and fight to prove the supremacy of their respective guru. Once Swami Satprakashananda said to Swami Shivananda, some receive initiation from Holy Mother and some from Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda. Is there any difference? Some receive Diksha, initiation from Holy Mother, and some from Maharaj, Brahmananda. Is there any difference? Swami Shivananda replied, I don't see any difference. The same Ganges water is coming through two faucets. The same grace of the Master is coming through Holy Mother and Maharaj. So before we go on, is there any comment or question about that? About what's been said about the nature of the Guru and our relationship to that Guru?
That's very true, Brother Shankara. This is Haima.
Mm-hmm.
Same Ganges water is coming through two faucets. That's beautiful. Beautiful metaphor he described. And some people really argue their stand is the right one and the others is the wrong one. You know,
Right.
we meet many people like that in this world. It's just better not argue with them.
I'm glad you said what you said.
Yes.
Now, all of what you said, but particularly that last.
Yes.
We must not argue with them.
Exactly. We don't have to
We must not try to change their minds.
Exactly. Right.
When the time comes, their minds will change. But in the meantime, though they may be very troublesome to us sometimes,
That is true. Truly, thank you. Thank you, Brother Shekara.
anything else from anyone about that particular aspect? According to Swami Shivananda, this Ganges water is Ramakrishna, who is purifying and awakening the God consciousness of people who receive initiation from the gurus of the Ramakrishna order. As an incarnation of God, the Master always reminded his devotees, Satchidananda, or God, is the only Guru, Father, and Master. Sri Ramakrishna always reminded his devotees, Satchidananda, or God, is the only Guru, Father, and Master. He could not bear anyone calling him Guru, Baba, Father, or what is that word?
It's Karta.
Karta, Master. And literally, he would shrink from people who insisted on calling him words like that. To avoid developing a narrow guru cult, all gurus of the Ramakrishna order, from Holy Mother and the direct disciples down to the present Swamis, have pointed out that Ramakrishna is the Ishta, or chosen deity, as well as the Guru. He is the goal, the support, the Lord, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the friend. Any comments or questions about that? Now, there is a mantra that says Ramakrishna is of the form of all gods and goddesses. All spiritual beings. So if your heart is drawn to some other aspect as the farmer's was to the goat, you remember that story. If your heart is drawn to some other aspect, don't fret about it. Don't think, oh, I have to replace that with the image of Sri Ramakrishna. No. Just see Ramakrishna sitting behind it as the self. He doesn't care one iota. He, Sri Ramakrishna, the living being who continues to exist in his subtle body, he said, and all of us who felt his presence know that truth. He doesn't care at all how you see the divine. All he cares about is that you focus on the divine and come to know it. Come to know God as the God of your love and your understanding. If you look at the God represented by that book 12 of the 12 saints speaking, the book is Love Poems from God. Each of them had a different conception of God. But it doesn't matter. It was all the beloved behind the mask of the name and form that they had a relationship with. Any comments or questions about that? So it really is, you are invited by the divine presence to love the divine presence in whatever form or fashion, and let that then unfold itself for you. What is that word that comes before Tantra? The what? Haima, what is that word?
Nava, Brother Shankara, Kularnava.
Kularnava? The Kularnava Tantra
Yes.
says that a person will go to hell if he or she thinks of the Guru as a human being, the mantras as a word, and the image of God as a piece of stone. Swami Bhuteshananda said, if one thinks that the body of the Guru is the Guru, then the doctrine of the Guru will end with the doctrine of the body. But if one considers the Guru as the Ishta or the chosen deity, then when the Guru dies, one will not miss the Guru. Well, let me just speak about that. Of
Brother
course,
Shankara, can you reread again?
yes, I will.
Thank you.
Swami Bhuteshananda said, if one thinks that the body of the Guru is the Guru, then the doctrine of the Guru will end with the doctrine of the body. But if one considers the Guru as the Ishta, or the chosen deity, then when the Guru dies, one will not miss the Guru. I'll just say words about that. Of course, if you've had a relationship with someone like Swami Prabhavananda or Swami Swahananda or Swami Sarvadevananda, the three teachers who headed the Vedanta Society of Southern California and later took responsibility for this place. If you've had a personal relationship with them, of course you'll miss them when they die, for a time. When Swami Prabhavananda left the body in July of 1976, that fall, I was sitting in and by the way, Swami Chitanananda was still serving as head minister of the Vedanta Society of Southern California at that time. This was probably September or October, the beginning of the fall puja season. And I was sitting in the monastery one Sunday morning after the breakfast in the monastery. This was, as I said, 1976. I hadn't taken breakfast with the monks, but Swami Krishnananda, who was Swami Prabhavananda's guru, Swami Prabhavananda's sevak. He was Swami Prabhavananda's, he was the monk who took care of Swami Prabhavananda. Swami Krishnananda was sitting, as he did every Sunday morning, on a sofa in the monastery living room. And I was sitting there wondering what was going to become of me now that Swami Prabhavananda was gone. And all of a sudden, Swami Krishnananda took the paper down from in front of his face, looked at me directly. We were perhaps 10 feet apart. Looked at me very directly and said, "You'll be fine," and put the paper back up in front of his face. "You will be fine." Now, of course, in that moment, I was astounded that he knew my thoughts. But later, I came to understand how right he was. So when it says that you will not miss the Guru when the Guru leaves the body, there are many people who knew Swami Yogeshananda very well and loved him dearly. And they missed him when he went away from here. And now, because he left the body on, what was it, February 13th, they miss him. They'll get over it. But we mustn't think that it's somehow wrong to have a sweet emotional relationship with your teacher, with your. If you depend on that, so that you're devastated if the Guru leaves the body, then you've done that cult business, and that doesn't work. But of course, you'll feel some tug on your heart when your teacher leaves the body. Any comment or question about that? Okay. That Guru is the eternal Guru. Swami Saradananda wrote, "The master used to say, the Guru is like a female companion of Radha, as there is no end to her love errands until her friend Radha is united with Krishna. So there is no rest for the Guru until the spiritual aspirant is united with God. Thus, the great Guru accompanies the sincere devotee to higher and higher realms of spirituality, and finally presents the devotee to the chosen deity, saying, 'My child, look here,' saying to the devotee, presenting to the child, the devotee, to the deity, saying, 'My child, look here.' And then immediately the Guru disappears. One day, when a devotee heard the master saying this, he realized that someday separation from the Guru would be inevitable. So with a sorrowful heart, he asked, 'Sir, where does the Guru go then?' The master replied, 'The Guru merges into the chosen deity or Ishta, the Guru, Krishna, and the devotee. These three are one, and the one is manifest as three.'" Anything anyone would like to say or ask about that? This seems mysterious to us until we begin to actually experience it. So I'm going to read this again. Swami Saradananda writes, The master used to say, quote, "The guru is like a female companion of Radha. As there is no end to her love errands until her friend Radha is united with Krishna, so there is no rest for the guru until the spiritual aspirant is united with God. Thus the great guru accompanies sincere devotees to higher and higher realms of spirituality, and finally presents the devotee to the chosen deity, saying, 'My child, look here, look there.' And then immediately the guru disappears. One day when a devotee heard the master saying this, he realized that someday separation from the guru would be inevitable. So with a sorrowful heart, he asked, 'Sir, where does the guru go then?' The master replied, 'The guru merges into the chosen deity or Ishta. The guru, Krishna, and the devotee, the guru, Krishna, who is the chosen deity or Ishta, is being spoken of by Sri Ramakrishna, the guru, Krishna, and the devotee, these three are one, and the one is manifest as three.' He's using Krishna here because he'd used the example of Radha. Radha's mad love was for Krishna. Anything at all from anyone? We've gone into deep water here about the guru. Is there anything anyone would like to ask or add?
I have a comment, Brother Shankara. This is Haima.
Yes, Haima?
Even after actually, we talk more about Guru after he leaves us. Truly, honestly, every day we talk about Swami Prabhupada, all the Swamis who left us.
Mm-hmm.
We think of them more than when they were alive. Alive only, we see them probably at the time when we meet them. Now we think of them every second, every minute, every day almost. It's like our parents almost. We talk about them, good memories, and collect all those memories that they left behind.
Very sweetly and nicely put, Haima. That's true. And I'd like to point out
Thank you.
that when the Baranagore Monastery was established for the young monks that were forming the Ramakrishna order, led by Swami Vivekananda. This is before he started his walking and his wanderings around India. This is at the very beginning of the Baranagore Monastery, the first year or so. Swami Ramakrishnananda was responsible for taking care of the place. It was self-assigned. No one said, "You do this." So he would take care of everyone's bedding, all of it. And he said that he came to Swami Vivekananda's bed to change and freshen the bedding. And night after night after night, he would find the Swami's pillow soaked with tears. The love that the Guru gives us, there's nothing like it in our lives. Nothing else like it in our lives. And so we will indeed miss it in the sense of this heartfelt, tearful missing. It also may arise in our minds, our left minds, like, what's going to happen to me? Like happened to me. And Krishnananda said, you'll be fine. But the more, or the other aspect is the heart aspect, is the one that really, I mean, all we have to do is go to the songs and hymns of Mirabai, or the stories of Radha and the Rasa Leela, to see that this heart relationship is powerful indeed. Anything else from anyone? Thank you, Haima.
Sure, Brother Shankar. Thank you so much.
The Guru transmits spiritual power during the initiation ceremony and connects the disciple with God through a mantra. This is called Diksha, or initiation. According to the Tantra, it means gives knowledge, destroys animal or worldly desires. According to the Agama scriptures, the Supreme Lord, Shiva, established 3 kinds of initiation. Shambhavi, Shakti, and Mantri. When a disciple attains knowledge instantly by merely seeing or touching or paying obeisance to the Guru, it is called Shambhavi. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Brother Shankar. Shambhavi.
Okay, Shambhavi initiation. So when the devotee attains knowledge instantly by merely seeing, touching, or paying obeisance to the Guru, it is called Shambhavi initiation. When an illumined Guru transmits his or her divine power into the disciple's heart and awakens spirituality, it is called Shakti initiation. And, we hear about this from disciples of Amma and so on. In the Mantri initiation, the Guru draws a diagram, installs a ghat or sacred picture, performs worship of the deity, and then utters a mantra into the ear of the disciple. When the disciple repeats the mantra while fixing the mind on the Ishta, his or her worldly desires subside and the mind becomes pure. This is not just words. This is a promise. When the disciple repeats the mantra while fixing the mind on the Ishta, the chosen ideal, his or her worldly desires subside and the mind becomes pure. This is the beginning of Chaitanya's prayer. Chant the name of the Lord and his glory unceasingly, and that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean. This is the mind becoming pure. That the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched. Notice that word. If you quench a fire, it's fully out. Chant the name of the Lord and his glory unceasingly. That the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched, that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. When the disciple repeats the mantra while fixing the mind on the Ishta, his or her worldly desires subside and the mind becomes pure. At that time, the mind becomes the Guru or acts like the Guru. Actually, the word mantra is connected with the mind. That word is the mantra upon which one reflects to attain salvation. It is amazing how the infinite God remains hidden in the seed mantra. And it is truly amazing. You just keep after it, you find it's true. This is Swami Chaitanananda speaking very honestly from his own experience. It is amazing how the infinite God remains hidden in the seed mantra. Seed, bija, bija mantra. The mantra that you're given has one or more bijas, seeds. The divine being is hidden in that and begins after a time simply to pour itself out of that seed. This is what Swami Prabhupada means when he says, feel that living presence. So it's a little after 9. We'll leave it there. Is there anything anyone would like to ask or add to what's been read or said?
I agree with that, Brother Shankara. Mantra does become your guru, my guru. So many times after repeating for years, it just mantra becomes the guru.
Well, your mind itself
Yes.
becomes reshaped by, and so becomes, in that sense, the guru.
I agree with that. Thank you so much. A great chapter.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. Let there be peace in outer space. Let there be peace in the sky, on the earth, and in the waters. Let there be peace in the herbs, the plants, and the trees. May the gods be peaceful. May the whole universe be pervaded by peace. Let that infinite, universal peace prevail throughout my being. Let that infinite, universal peace prevail throughout my being. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace. Peace be unto us and to all beloved beings everywhere. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Durga, Durga, Durga. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be cheerful. May you have peace of mind. May the divine presence look over you lovingly as a mother and father. May you go forward in that loving and protective embrace. So until we gather again, which could be as early as tomorrow night to study Jnana Yoga,
Thank you, Brother
good
Shankara.
night, everyone.
So, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. So nice you could be with us.